Hello and welcome everyone to the video. This is going to be part 1 in my series about WaW Remastered. This is right now just Riese Remastered. I decided to focus my attention onto this one map, even though originally this mod was going to be for all 4 maps, but I'll get to those ones eventually when I finish this. Now I got inspired to make this mod like a little over a year ago, I think, after I was playing Black Ops 1 Reimagined, which is a mod by Riese, and he basically did something similar but with a lot more features in Black Ops 1. And so I was wanting to do something similar, but in WaW, and I wanted to keep a minimalistic approach because I really like the vanilla gameplay here. It's just small little tweaks and bug fixes that we're going to see here, and some visual things too, actually. So this video, part 1, we're just going to go over all the changes and things that I have in this mod so far. Then I'll end off the video with the current issues and missing features that I'm going to plan on doing, and then we'll just see how it goes from there. So to start off with, let's go to the change notes. We can just go through them right here in order. The first one is going to be the Wonderwaff jug glitch has been fixed. So the reason I put that at the top is because it is by far the most annoying thing that happens when you play Riese. Now, just to show it, well, let's go get Jug, obviously. Okay, so we are drinking Jug now, and obviously we can see I can survive like more than 2 hits. Whoa, 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 okay. And I'm gonna let myself heal. I'm gonna shoot myself. Okay, we're gonna heal, and then let's go back to the zombie. They're a little bit glitched because I was flying around, but there you go, that's 2 hits. And there was even more hits, and you can see I'm still doing fine. I still have my Jug. And I can let this heal. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Jug is working fine. And I'm super glad I was able to do that because now you can actually use the Wonderwaff. And obviously this applies to the unupgraded version as well. Originally, if you had the normal one, it would make you die in 2 hits with Jug, and then this upgraded one would make you die in 1 hit with Jug. And obviously that's fixed. Okay, now next is excuse me, some of the changes to the characters. So, as you can see, I'm actually Richtofen. I don't know if you can hear, but you can at least see I have black hands, or black gloves, I guess. And basically, let's restart. I've made it so that you can spawn in as each of the 4 heroes on solo. Normally, on solo, you're always Tank Dempsey, but I thought that was kind of dumb, and I wanted to play as the other characters outside of co-op. So here we are as Takeo. You can see, not only did I make it random characters, but I also made it so that the hands are accurate. So this is the first one I'll go over. We have Takeo, who has blue sleeves. Let's see if we can get into the light a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'll reload. You can sort of see them. Okay, and then the other thing with that is that each character spawns with a unique pistol according to their faction. So Takeo, being Japanese, has the Nambu, and all these pistols have identical stats to the Colt because I wanted that for balance reasons. Let's go ahead and restart. So okay, we are Nikolai now, and we have the Tokarov, and you can see his sleeves are tan with blood on them, and of course that was done to match the third-person model. Okay, and then let's restart again. So here we are, Richtofen. He has gloves with tan sleeves. You can sort of see them. His gloves are quite big, but yeah. And then lastly, let's see if we can get lucky. Nope. Nope, we really are unlucky. There we go. So now we are Tank Dempsey, who has the normal Colt. And his arms are actually unedited. These are just taken from campaign. Yeah, let's get a gun. So you can see his sleeves are actually rolled up, which is just more accurate to his third-person model. And I was lucky that they just had that already made in campaign. As for the other 3 characters, I had to take existing hands and then just edit them. So like Takeo, I recolored to be blue. Nikolai recolored to be like tan. Richtofen actually took the gloves from the Black Cats mission and recolored the gloves to be black and then the sleeves tan. And so that way I was sticking completely with the World at War art style, and everything is like fitting in with the game. It's not like I've taken stuff from other games like Black Ops and put it in to World at War. Okay, so next up is FOV. So by default, it's going to be 80. You can sort of tell right now, but let's just go down to 65. This is what it normally looks like, and it's super constrained. And I like to put it at 80. It's a good balance. It's not completely up to 90, which is like pretty much the max. I think, yeah, that is the max in this game. And I don't want to go that high because some people don't like high FOV, and so I think for default that's a good middle ground. Okay. Next up is the bleed out time has been increased from 30 to 45 seconds. And so that is just to match with Black Ops 1. In World at War, you would bleed out in only 30 seconds. And you also can't move while you're down. But in Black Ops 1, you get 45 seconds and you can even move. So I thought it deserves a buff in this game just to give co-op players a little bit more of a chance to survive. Okay. Next up is I did buff the electric traps from 25 seconds to 30. Just a nice and even round 30 seconds. I think that, you know, it just makes it a little bit easier, especially with the glitchy World at War zombies. Anything to give the player a small little edge without going too overboard. I think that just fits well. There's really no other buffs except for the Wonder Waff, which I'll talk about later. Everything else is still like the same balance, so it's, you know, I just want to reiterate that so that you guys don't think I'm just making everything OP. I just wanted to make it a little bit easier, but nothing too crazy. It's still a challenge to get to a high round on this game. Okay, next up is the walking animations with guns. So you'll notice if I'm walking, it just looks like, you know, the gun is swaying back and forth. But if you remember the original games, or game World at War, the gun would just lower when you started walking forward, and it was pretty dumb, I think, because this is what they do in modern Call of Duties and like Black Ops 1 and the Modern Warfares, but for some reason in World at War, the gun would just like get lower down on your screen, and it didn't look as good. So all it took was just a very simple script, just swap it out, and then, or swap it in, and then it's just looks like this now. So I think it looks good like that. Next up is, let's see, updated mission intros. So if we go restart, if you look in the bottom left, it now says the date, and originally it just said the top line when you started Riese, but now I'm going to make it so all 4 World at War maps say the location at the top and then the date on the bottom. That way it's all uniform and, you know, according to the storyline without giving too much information away. I'm pretty sure on Knock, though, it'll say like unknown location or something like that, because you don't really know where it actually is. It's just somewhere in Germany, I believe. Anyways, so the Easter egg song volume I slightly increased just in the sound alias. It was like, I want to say 0.8 or 0.9, and I just put it up to 1, so the volume is a little bit louder. Reason for that is if you want to make it quieter, you can go to your settings, but I don't want to make it quieter by default if I can avoid that. So just a small thing. Next up is added the Unused Radio. So if we go over here, I don't know if it's going to be very loud, but on the, I believe it was like the iOS version of, or maybe, yeah, I believe so, of World at War Zombies. What was it? Did I write it here? Oh, it was, yeah, okay, so it was on the mobile version. There's a radio here, and you couldn't get it on the PC version or console version. For some reason, there was just nothing here, so I've used some scripts to spawn a radio, and then also, if you do interact with it, I don't know if you can hear that, but it starts playing the radio, and that's awesome. So it's just perfectly integrated into here, and it plays the whole audio clip, which is just fun for the Easter egg, and like, you know, people that like Easter eggs, I guess you could say. And it, yeah, like I didn't really get to finish, but it was in the game files on the PC version, so I don't know why they didn't include it, because the radio still fits in with the whole storyline. It's not like it contradicts anything, but you get that there to enjoy. Okay, next up is the HUD improvement. So if you look on the bottom right, the American grenade logo has actually been replaced with the German grenade, which is just more accurate and you know, just a visual thing. If we also go close to a grenade, it will have both those logos as well, for the indicator here and then the pickup indicator. So that's just, you know, small little details to be more accurate, because we don't have American grenades. Next up, I'm going to use Give All to show it, but you can see on the bottom right, the monkey bomb icon looks a little bit more familiar. I just prefer it like this because the original one was like the monkey hat logo, which when I was a kid, I didn't even know what that was. Obviously, looking back, you can tell it's like the little hat that the monkey wears, but still, I think that giving a more full picture of the monkey bomb works a little bit better. And I've obviously customized it to fit in with the World at War grayscale HUD art style. Okay. Next up, HD perk and power-up icons. So let's go ahead and grab all the perks. Let's actually start here. Boom. Boom. I don't know what's going to happen now that I'm drinking a bunch of perks. Is that only going to do the latest one? Because that sucks. Oh, okay. So we have all 4 perks. Perfect. I don't know if you can really tell in the video, but what I've done is I've made them more HD so that the quality is just a little bit better. The original ones were kind of fuzzy, and you know, I can't really compare them back and forth right now, but you can pause the video and look at them if you want. And right now I'm just trying to get a power up. No. What is this? Oh, here we go. So the power-ups have also been made HD. So on the bottom middle right here, this insta-kill and also the double points, which maybe I'll get in the future of this video, we shall see, are just more HD and a little bit less fuzzy, which is always good to see. The only thing that I'm not happy with is once you get past round 10, or what is it, maybe past round 9, yeah, it turns into the numbers in the bottom left, and it's pretty fuzzy still, low res, but I can't really figure out how to change the round numbers, because that's not really like an image, that's just the font in the game files, so you know, can't really change that by just swapping out textures. But anyways, let's move on. Another thing is, well, you can now use the scoreboard and solo. This is just a carryover feature from T4M's. I did not make this at all, but I just thought I'd point it out because it is kind of cool to finally have a scoreboard on solo. And of course you need T4M to run this mod. But anyways, let's get on to the perks and power-ups. So double tap now increases bullet damage by 1.5 times, which just makes every bullet weapon a little bit stronger and allows you to get to further rounds, which is the whole fun of the game. When bullet weapons start to drop off, it just makes everything you know, harder to play, and now it just, you know, the point at which bullet weapons stop working is just a little bit further, and I think that that works fine because you know, us zombie players nowadays can get to higher rounds, and so giving us a little bit more time to enjoy. Did I give all? Oh, I completely forgot about that. Here's the double points. You can see the updated logo there. But yeah, anyways, I mean, the bullet weapons, I didn't want to go with the full double tap 2.0 where it's ×2. I thought that doing just 1.5, similar to Jay Bleez's mod, was the right call. It doesn't make it too OP, but it just gives it a little bit of a buff so that you can enjoy your bullet weapons, as I've been repeating over and over. Okay, next up is Quick Revive now works in solo. So if I kill myself right here, you'll see I spawn in with, oh shoot, it's kind of unfortunate. I'll show that other feature in a second, but you'll see let's just redo that, because there's a couple things I want to go over, but I forgot to open this door, which will fix that issue. Okay, anyways, with Quick Revive, it's still the same price. It's still 1,500 because it's different than in Black Ops 1 where you would spawn with Quick Revive in the same room. In World at War, Quick Revive was just thrown randomly wherever in the map, and so there's no reason to just make it 500 so that you can buy it with your starting points. It's just meant to be a normal perk that benefits you without being like sort of a default thing that you always buy in the first room. So that's why I didn't change the price, and I also think that for those of you that, you know, thought it was a good challenge to not have solo revives in World at War, well, at least they're still kind of expensive with 1,500 compared to the 500, which was really cheap. So that's that, and yes, Quick Revive is not on by default. you have to turn the power on, because again, it's not a starting room perk like in Black Ops 1. But I'm going to kill myself here now. When I go down, it says my name is reviving me, and then it also has the reviving text with the progress bar, which is useful. And you'll see the zombies are running away, because when I'm down, it would be extremely difficult if the zombies just stayed piled up on me. So I've made sure that there are scripts in place so that the zombies do run away, so that you're not just completely screwed when you're down. Am I gonna die? Nope. Okay. Yeah, and I really like the visuals of the being down and being revived with the progress bar and whatnot. It just fits the World at War style really well, because I know in Black Ops 1 it didn't have that progress bar, but I'm a fan of it, to be honest, in World at War. So that's it with Quick Revive. I guess actually one more thing, though, I can go over. Let's see. If we do buy it for a third time, you will see it does disappear, which is accurate to Black Ops 1 and just for balance reasons. Now, because it is a stock map, I can't actually get rid of this like invisible barrier thing there, but that's not a huge issue. I'm not too upset about that. Okay, next up. Carpenters and nukes now are affected by double points. Now, I'm not really going to be able to show this, but if I do get lucky with power-ups, I will. Originally in World at War, no matter what, you'd get 400 for a nuke and then 200 for a carpenter. But in Black Ops 1, they made it so that if you had an active double points, you could actually get twice as many points from those power-ups. And so, again, I just made that work in World at War because I think it's a good feature to have. Okay, next up. Menu. So, I guess I'll quit to just show it. But I have added a solo Riese thing just to make it easier when you launch the mod, because you're not supposed to play the other maps when you do have the map enabled. You know, it's possible I'll add some, like a cool video in the background of Riese or like a picture or something. But right now it's just the default vanilla menu with the Riese button at the top. Okay, now next up. There is a new game options setting. So just want to preface before I do show this, there is still a bug, which you will see right now. When you click on it, it removes like the blur and the shadows from the background. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. I've completely overhauled the game options settings. So starting from the top, these are mostly default, but I have added now a new thing, crosshair. You can disable the crosshair if you want to play just for the extra realism like this. You can. I think it's kind of cool. Next, we can turn that back on. There we go. It's back. Okay. Next up, we have the HUD just as a whole. So if you want to play like hardcore with no HUD, which is just always kind of a fun challenge once in a while, you can definitely do that. There's a weird thing when you re-enable it, like wants to force you to look at the game objectives, but you can just easily fix that by pausing or pressing tab. Anyways, game options. Again, we have an FOV slider now. So let's see. I believe actually, I just want to check. Yeah, so by default, it's still 80. And I guess I have the slider only going up to 80, even though you could go to 90. So maybe in the future I'll make it 90 so it would look like this in the bar and you could go a little bit extra if you wanted to. But I guess I kept it at 80 because I didn't think 90 was necessary. I'll probably fix that though later. Anyways, you can change the FOV scale, which is kind of cool. I like to keep it on normal, but I know some people, for some reason, do like to mess with that. FPS limit, you can enable that and disable that. Obviously, I would keep it disabled. And then knifing is kind of a, this is kind of a gameplay related setting though. So if you do change this, you can go from disabled, default, and less. So by default, it's going to be on less lunging, which just means when we're knifing zombies from a distance, you're still going to be able to normally knife them. Now, I can't really show an example right now because these are all in barricades, but like, let's see. Yeah, see, there we go. Like, I could knife it without lunging there. Again, there. Normally, you would have to start lunging at that distance in the vanilla game, but knife lunging just sucks in this game. We can all agree. So I tried to, make it less common by changing the distance required to knife with a lunge, I guess. It's hard to explain. But anyways, you can also just straight up disable it. which is kind of weird though, and you'll see why. Should get some zombies coming in. Like, no matter what, I can't knife lunge. And so right here it's actually working fine, but if we go to another barrier, it's pretty OP for normal knifing, but yeah, like if there's a zombie in a barricade, well, I guess I'm out of luck now. Like, you sometimes just physically won't be able to reach the zombie because they're too far back. So lunging can be kind of useful, and that's why I don't have it just disabled by default. But if we go back here, you can also just keep it straight up enabled. Wait. Oh, sorry, you can keep it just default. So this will put it back to default, and you can see now it's just like teleporting me across the map to knife lunge, which is pretty annoying. And so it will stay on less lunging when you restart the map and when you load it by default. Next up, there's some controller settings. If you want to play with a controller, you need a program, unless it's an Xbox controller, because I know that when they made this game, Xbox 360 was designed, or sorry, the game was designed to use Xbox 360 controllers. Maybe you can get away with Xbox One controllers, I don't really know, but those were made after World at War, so I'm not going to mention that here. If they do work, that's cool. Otherwise, like with a PS3 controller or PS4 controller, you do need an external program, and then you have to type in this command regardless up here, and that will enable controllers. Then what you can do here is adjust settings. So if you want to change the inversion of the sticks, because I know some people like to do that, you can do that. And then also the sensitivity is here, which I've copied exactly from the console versions, where it's like medium, high, and whatnot. Okay, so that's it for the game options. I believe, yeah, actually I did add a few graphics options, I think. Oh, I did add fog, so yeah, you can disable shadows like normal, but I think, I'm not sure. Maybe fog was always in the game. I'm pretty sure I added it though. I don't think you could normally disable fog. Anyways, I do know that there's fog option, so I don't know if I added that or if that was always there, but it's there. Anyways, next up we got the weapon changes. So this is pretty cool. I don't know, I think it'd be best to just do it like this, yeah, rather than doing give all. But I'm going to give myself some of the new weapons. The first one is the Scope Mosin Nagant, which is a cut weapon from Riese. It was in the game files, but they never added it for whatever reason, and I've re-added it. It's just a solid sniper. It's kind of like the Scope Car from Nocturne Toten. I think it's a little bit more powerful though, and you can just get it from the mystery box. Now there is an upgraded variant. Now it has 6 shots that you can load into it, and then it holds more ammo, and it has a cool little camo. The camo was actually made by Treyarch, so I didn't have to do that, but what I did have to add were the stats, and so I just decided to look at the stats of like the upgraded car, the upgraded PTRS, and sort of just find a balance of what seemed right for this gun. I think the PTRS is obviously going to be the more powerful sniper, but this one is still a solid upgraded rifle. Okay, next up, let's see what the other weapons are. That's right, the sawed-off double barrel. So with this shotgun, it was in every World at War map except Riese for some reason, and I wanted to add it into this map so that all 4 maps were uniform and had, you know, the same loadouts pretty much. So you can see the double barrel with, or sawed-off double barrel is working in action here. It's just, again, another box weapon that you can get. Now this upgrade variant was made by Treyarch, so the stats and the name are all the same. Actually, I didn't even mention it, but the custom name for this was something I just made up, or I didn't make it up, but I just used it for the memes, so I thought that it fit well. And yeah, going back to this gun, I think that, or at least the direction with this mod that I started with is that every map will have the same loadout 100%, so there's no like random deployable MGs. Everything is like the normal MG, and I'll talk about that later. There's no missing guns, there's no missing shotgun, and so the only difference will be that, well, obviously the wonder weapons, like the wonder waff, but each map will get a unique weapon. And so right now, Riese has the Scope Mosin, Shino Numa is going to have the Type 99, Verrucht has the Springfield and the Spawn Room, which is kind of funny, and then Nocturne Toten has the Scope Car. So each map sort of has their own unique weapon. Not that the unique weapon is OP, but just sort of a cool thing. And actually right now I do have, let's see. I do have the Type 99 in this map, but the sounds aren't working on it right now. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it. I know everybody loves the Type 99 in Riese memes, so, you know, maybe I will keep it just so that people can enjoy this weapon. Okay, continuing with the weapon changes, WaW. So, let's see. Well, I guess it's going to take a while to get to a high round where I can really effectively show this off, but pretty much with the unupgraded version, you can kill 12 zombies with one shot, and it originally was just 10 shots, or sorry, was 10 zombies, so being able to kill 12 means that with 2 shots, you can kill an entire horde, and I think that's a great change. It's a very small buff, but it works well. As for the upgraded version, it will now kill 24 zombies with one shot, and along with the increased ammo that this weapon has, it now kind of rivals with, let's see, I think it can now rival with the Thunder Gun. You know, it's not as effective because it shoots slower and has to, you know, chain through the zombies, but it is much better now being able to kill not 10 zombies with one shot, but 24. Excuse me. So that's the only other buff in this mod, so don't worry, nothing is going to be too OP, but I think for people going for high rounds, this just makes more sense. Okay, next up, the new pistols. I already talked about this, but they all have the identical stats. They also will have their own upgrade variants, which are all going to be identical to the upgraded Colt, but they'll obviously have their unique camos, and they'll have unique funny names, which I'm going to come up with, and you will eventually see. Not going to spoil them, though, but it should be fun. And I know that it might be kind of a letdown that all the pistols are going to be the same, but I think for balance reasons, it really just makes the most sense that, like, you don't want somebody to just have a better pistol because they got lucky and spawned in as whoever. I think that it should all be the same. It's just purely a visual thing, and that's the way I like it. Okay, next up, the knife. I already talked about that. Molotov cocktails. I can't really get these unless I spam the box, so while I talk about the other weapons, I will do just that. Okay. So, next up is the 357 Magnum. With this weapon, I thought that it was weird. By default, the ammo was at 80, and that's not like a even number when dividing by 6, so you would always have 2 leftover shots, and so I changed it to 78. And then I also, well, I guess I kind of lied about the buffs, but being done, but I did do some very small buffs to guns that I felt that just got kind of shafted, and Treyarch could have done more. You know, the upgraded 357 really was basically the same as the old one, but with more ammo. Actually, I don't think it even got, yeah, it didn't get an increase in ammo, didn't get an increase really in the fire rate or anything from what I remember. So, with that buff, the 357 upgraded actually is better. Like, I think every weapon by default should get more ammo when upgraded, and so to not do that for the 357 didn't really make a lot of sense. So just small buffs to that weapon. The flamethrower, I fixed this knife delay bug where, like, when you would knife, it would be delayed. And then I also made it so that you can aim down the sights when you're using certain controls. If you're using the way that when you click aim, it just stays aimed, you couldn't really aim with the flamethrower before, and so I fixed that now so you can. Because for some reason it would work fine in campaign, but in zombies, like when you try to aim, it would go like this. It would like not fully aim. Anyways, Car 98, there's a small bug where if you knifed with a Bowie knife, you wouldn't hear the Bowie knife sound effects properly, and so I fixed that. Now we're getting to some of the rifles. Pretty much all of these I just increased the stock ammo and magazine size when upgrading, because let's see. Yeah, from what I remember, like either the magazine stayed the same or something like that, but they really did not get that much of an upgrade when you pack a punched. So I didn't mess with the damage or anything, but I just thought that they should have, you know, an average amount more ammo. Maybe nothing crazy, but every pack-punch gun gets a good amount more ammo, and so I thought all the rifles should get that too. Next up, yeah, same thing with the MP40. Oh, here we go. I got the Molotovs. The stock ammo was still 192, which I think is the same as the normal unpack-a-punched MP40. So I increased that to 256. The reason behind that was probably they originally. By the way, let's get this going. Whoa, not 54. Let's try to get to a higher round so I can showcase the Molotovs. But anyways, what was I talking about? Now, the MP40, they made it so the magazine holds 64, I believe. Yeah, so that's cool and all, but then the stock ammo was the same as the normal version, which kind of sucks. And so I wanted to change that, and that's what I've done. Next up is the BAR. Now, these are just very small things that were not necessary, but I changed all the names to be like more historically accurate. You can see the Bar, Thompson, Browning. I also increased the stock ammo for the BAR because that was another weapon that, like, you know, it's a solid weapon. When you upgrade it, it should still be, you know, solid, and that's why the stock ammo and magazine size is a little bit better than the normal pack-a-punch version. I also fixed some capitalization things with the upgraded Browning and double-barreled shotgun, and that's it. So that's really all there is to go over. I just want to see if I can get to a higher round to show off the Molotovs, but you know that's going to take too long, so you'll just have to take my word for it. But Molotovs do now actually kill zombies. Usually they would just explode and not even make crawlers in the normal game, but I thought that they should get a huge buff. Obviously they still kind of suck because the monkey bombs are always going to be better, but if you do get Molotovs, you can at least just throw them for fun and kill some zombies. You know, and once you get to a certain round, like, you know, 20-ish, whatever, they're going to be completely useless. But, you know, while we're in a lower round, you can at least enjoy them, rather than just them doing completely nothing. Okay, yeah, so the last thing to talk about, though, would be the issues and missing features that I still have planned. So, first up, Type 99 is missing Pack-a-Punch model. I need to get that going. The same with the upgraded pistols. That's why I'm not showing them yet. Flamethrower, I did talk about fixing that, but actually there's something wrong with that still. I wanted to make it so the flamethrower gets its cooldown reset when you get a max ammo. I think that would be really cool because I've actually played with the flamethrower and it's crossed my mind where, well, if I get this max ammo, it should actually reset the cooldown, because then it would, you know, actually be beneficial to get the max ammo when using the flamethrower, or like risking your life to get it, is what I mean, you know. And normally you don't get any benefit when using the flamethrower, so yeah, obviously it has unlimited ammo, but that would just be a cool thing to have. Next up is just some stuff with the solo quick revives. Okay, and that's pretty much it. There's a couple bugs. The only bugs I'll say are that, you know, that it's a visual thing. When you go here, background is clear, but that doesn't really affect anything. Co-op bug is that the dogs are missing an animation for running, and I don't know why. It just seems to be an issue that multiple people have. It's not just my mod, so we'll see what goes with that. If it gets fixed, I don't know. Also, when you load up the map in co-op, it doesn't show a picture in the bottom left. It's just a checkerboard thing. That's not a huge issue. And then, yeah, the only actual, like, bug that annoys me is that the Type 99 doesn't have sound still, even though I've, like, put it in my zone source to get the sounds. I even put the sounds in my mod, and I have all the sounds set up with the weapon file, so, like, I don't know why the sounds are not working for the Type 99, but hopefully that'll get fixed eventually. I think once I finish a few more of these features, I'll be ready to release an early version of the mod. But until then, thanks for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed.